How's everyone going? If you ignore my hair, the video will probably be okay. So a while ago, about a week ago, I asked a bunch of people to ask me some questions, and they did. So one of my lenses popped out of my glasses. I don't know if you could tell, I have a lazy eye. My right eye's lazy. But I'm going to try to read some questions that you guys asked me. So question number 1, if I could move anywhere in the world, where would it be and why? I don't think if I had the option I would really settle down in one place for too long. Excuse me. I think I would if I could afford it, if I was like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or some millionaire globalist piece of shit, I I would like to move around a lot, and I would probably move to like the UK, Europe, Siberia, Alaska. I'd try to move everywhere where there's a lot of prehistory and all that, because that's what I'm interested into. I don't think I would ever live in like London, UK. I live in London, Ontario, which is another question. I wouldn't live in places like Toronto, Ottawa. No big cities for me. I'd probably move to smaller towns. Question number 2, do you prefer the winter or the summertime? Both have their pros and cons. For example, in the wintertime, the air feels cleaner. There's snow. I love snow. But in the summertime, there's a lot more fishing. There's a lot more swimming and all that. Camping's fun. You can camp in the wintertime. I've never done it, but I want to. There's just a lot more. So both are pretty cool. I pretty much like all seasons. Like, all seasons have their pros and cons. It's hard to pick one. Question number 3, what's your favorite primitive material to work with and why? In all honesty, it's probably stone. There's a lot you can do with stone. There's a lot of types of stones you can work with, and flint knapping is just really fun. It's always a challenge. You never know how the stone's going to react until you crack it open. Sorry for rubbing my nose. There's something bothering me. Yeah, I'd have to say stone. And if not stone, maybe antler, like any kind of antler. Caribou antler is really fun to work with because it's soft, but it's very it's softer than like say moose antler or whitetail antler. But yeah, either caribou antler or like Georgetown flint. What primitive skills do you practice? Flint knapping is probably the most I practice. Fire making, I really like working with flint and marcasite. Fire spindles are pretty cool. I would do a lot more hide working if I had the space to do it. It's hard to do that in a medium-sized city. People call the police on you. A whole bunch of stuff. Bone working, a whole bunch. Hard to name. Question number 5, what caused you to be so interested in this particular field? I guess from a childhood, like maybe like, I don't know how old I was, but I remember my parents watching documentaries all the time, and my grandma actually let me watch Clan of the Cave Bear, which I don't really think is a kid's movie, but I would say that definitely sparked some interest. And I went to a powwow in grade 9, and that was definitely pretty interesting. So I think pretty much my whole life I've been exposed to it little by little, until eventually I just kind of settled and was like, yep, this is a lifestyle for me. Where am I from? I already said I'm from London, Ontario. There's no point of hiding it now because my phone number is public, and if you looked up the area code you would find out. So I'm from Canada, from Ontario, and I live in between 2 Great Lakes. Question number 7, what field do you want to work in the future? That's a tough one for me. I wouldn't mind working for a museum doing experimental archaeology, but I doubt that's actually a job. Eventually I want to go to school for something in anthropology. I really love researching what Neanderthals ate and hunting tactics and all that, so something along the line of food. Like, look at me, I'm a big fat guy, I love food. So obviously looking at like what Neanderthals ate, because in the end, I definitely want to study something Neanderthal because it's what I love. But I'm pretty sure I'd be happy in any field. When will you be interviewed on the Neanderthal Minds podcast? So, when was this? This was a while ago. I was interviewed on a podcast called the Neanderthal Minds, sorry. And Anthony is a really cool guy. I think the podcast was only supposed to be 30 minutes, and we ended up talking for like 2.5 hours. So, I think it is March 8th. I will be back on that podcast. I'm really excited. Anthony's really fun to talk to. I'll have a link to his podcast down below. I believe all of you should check it out. He's interviewed the author of Kindred. He's interviewed a bunch of other people. And little old me's going to be interviewed on it again, so you should go check it out. Let's see. I'm old school. I wrote all them down. Question number 9. We will answer that in the end. Question 10. What is one primal skill you struggled with? Clothing. Making clothing is really difficult for me. Just because, like, I don't know how to explain it without sounding stupid. Basically, I struggle with, blueprints. I'm really bad with blueprints, so if I see a template, I can't figure it out. That's why I failed auto shop, mechanic, whatever the hell you guys call it. I have 2 beautiful cowhides out there, 2 black cowhides with red stripes down the middle, and this summertime I'm going to try to make some, like a primitive shirt or overcoat or something. But as of right now, I'm too scared to really cut them open. We'll go back to question 9 now. I'm curious about any spiritual or religious items that have been found. Also curious about how or if the Neanderthals buried their dead. So there's the La Chapelle Saints Neanderthal. I think some Shanidar Neanderthals were buried, like the flower burial, which is hotly debated. There's a bunch. I know there's a child. What is it called? I can't remember the name, but it's a Russian site. They found a child burial. And for religious items, I don't really like using. Did you say no? Yeah, spiritual or ritual items. Sorry. I don't really like using those terms, but in Spain they found one, and there was a bunch of hearths, so fires, that were scattered all over a baby Neanderthal, and there was a bunch of horns in there from bison and aurochs, and it was bison and woolly rhino horns, and then a woolly rhino skull placed on top of a rock. That seems kind of like a ritual to me, like honoring the dead or whatever. I'm not really well read on Neanderthal burials, but in my personal opinion, my layman's opinion, I think that they definitely had some rituals. They were probably very spiritual, and they for sure buried their dead, at least most of the time. One thing I want to go over, I'm going to rant, free talk a little bit. It's probably going to sound really stupid, but cannibalism in the Neanderthals, I think it's called defleshing or whatever. When there's some tribes out there in Africa and India that will deflesh and eat their relatives, and it's obviously cannibalism because you're eating another human, but it doesn't mean it's always just for food. It could be a ritual practice, a spiritual practice, and I think it was. I don't think they were just eating their family just because. And Stefan Milo brought up the fact that they might have just been experimenting because they've been cutting open horses and aurochs and bison and whatever. And what if they just wanted to see if they were the same on the inside? They could have been the first experimenters in the world. Experimenters, sorry. Now the last question is from a good buddy of mine named Bryce. Shout out to Bryce. He has a channel, I'll put it down below. Why are Neanderthals always depicted as being lumpy? Are there any indicators that imply they had such saggy faces, or is that just an assumed truth? They always look like wax figures left out in the sun too long. So, a lot of the reconstructions you see of wax figures are actually done by the Kenneth brothers, and I don't like their reconstructions at all. I don't think they're accurate. They're very artistic, but that's about it. That's what happens when you give artists too much freedom of expression. They just go off like the Kenneth brothers do. I don't think Neanderthals looked like that. I think they definitely would have looked more human. I don't think the Kenneth brothers reconstructions look human. There is the one female Neanderthal reconstruction that kind of looks like me, but if you look at her from the side, she's got like this weird chimp nose. They've got orangutan lips. That's not offensive. If you say that's offensive, just get off my page because I don't care. They give them little tiny beady eyes. Like my eyes are bigger than most of the constructions. Like they give them I'm not even gonna say that. Never mind. I don't think they're good reconstructions. I think they're mostly just artistic impressions. That was really all the questions. Thank you all for watching, and for the YouTube people, this next part is for you. Hey people of YouTube and Facebook and MeWe and wherever the hell I post this. I got a raffle going on right now. There's going to be 3 prizes. Each ticket is going to be $2 Canadian. I think that's like 5 cents American, maybe a cent UK pounds or whatever. Yeah, 3 prizes. So let's just get right into it. Prize number 1 is going to be this beautiful necklace. It's got a mammoth tusk bead, a horn bead. It's hafted on with a, so that's caribou antler, no, whitetail antler, and Georgetown blade with real sinew and birch tar glue. The binding is actually red ochre, and this is an all-natural reconstruction. This is milkweed cordage, so this is an all-natural necklace, and this is prize number 1. And it's also fully adjustable. It fits over my large head, so it should fit most people. So there's prize number 1. Alright, prize number 2 is going to be a knife and a sheath. So here's the sheath. It's black cowhide. It's stitched on both sides. It's kind of like a sock reconstruction, except stitched on both sides. You can't see them. It's got a nice black shell bead from the UK. Thank you, Meg Peters. And here is the knife. It's a Mousterian blade hafted onto a Rosa Sharon handle. And then the hafting and lashing is birch tar and artificial sinew thread. Sorry if this seems rushed. I'm running out of space on my phone. Last prize is going to be this Venus figurine. It's carved from curly maple with all stone tools. She's been burned and then polished with bones. So here she is. This is prize number 3. I'm not sure how well the details are picking up because I can't see shit right now. Hopefully I don't get banned for this. She's got some nice thighs, eh boys? Sorry. Anyways, I'll have my PayPal link down below. Tickets again are $2 Canadian, and I'm going to announce the winner once we hit at least 50 tickets sold. So I hope you check out my raffle. Thank you all for watching this Q&A. For those on YouTube, thank you for watching the Q&A. This will be a separate video for anyone on Facebook or whatever. So thank you all for watching, and hope you enjoyed staring at my tubby face. See you now.